Hey there, cats and kitties. I am the Blues Man, Johnny Blues, and with this video, we'll be discussing my thoughts on episode 7 of the anime series Rage of Bahamut, Virgin Soul. And holy hell, man, the battle is in full swing by the end of this episode. Technically, we begin with the aftermath, and then I think they rewind 5 hours some odd, to before everything began. Azazel, of course, having gone and persuaded demonkind, the demons that have been in hiding, to play along, they put their faith in him that he would have Nina coming a-calling, changing into the dragon, and just messing up shop, right at the designated moment. They've cast spells, they've cordoned off all of the escape routes. They actually have a tactical plan in motion. But Chadios showing, true to form, the level of force he wields. He's completely protected. He's seeing this coming. He thinks it's a grand game. Kaiser goes to him and pleads, do not show up at this parade, this event, because there is some suspicious activity in the demon realm. Or among the demon kind in any case. And he's having a blast. He's like, this is going to be a fun event. This is going to be spectacular. Bring it. Let them come. I'm ready. I'm going to take them down. And, as we saw in that precursor, it's like, holy hell. One by one, each one of these demons that Azazel has entreated to be with him in this effort, which is a complete and utter failure because he could not, get Nina excited. He could not get her to transform. All he can do to save face is try to get there in time enough to save the demons who showed up, who wanted to go after Chadios. He promised them he would take Chadios down. I never had an even remote inkling of a suspicion that this would go to plan, that this would work. And sure enough, it did not. And it just left Azazel completely, his plan had gone to pot, and he's the last man standing. And it was really kind of a shame. The one female demon seemed like she had a renewed sense of faith and belief that their kind could be saved from the enslavement that humanity has forced upon them. She seemed to have this, renewed sense of vigor. I'm going to put faith in Azazel. I believe in him. I believe he will free us. And what did she get for her belief? Crushed. Literally, physically pancaked by one of those giant golems wielded by Chadios' people. By Chadios. People wonder why I hate this guy. Not that Azazel is any better. Both men, for all intents and purposes, have maybe at their base, at their core, honorable intentions. But the road to hell was paved with such intentions. And it's tragic. It's tragic to see the demons so suffering. It's tragic to contemplate what brought mankind to wanting to retaliate against the heavenly and demon realms. Because they felt themselves oppressed. It is penultimately telling that Bacchus, he makes a very sobering realization, and I mean literally so. This isn't just metaphorically speaking. He is very literally sobered by the realization when Sophia comes a-calling, and there is Mugato sitting next to him, and she's looking suspiciously at the child, whom Nina, again, is misinterpreting for being a girl, and Azazel's reaction to that, seeing Mugato in a pretty frilly dress, should be all efforts, no longer in question about whether or not Mugato is male or female. Obviously, Nina got it wrong, and Azazel's incredulous about that. But there is Sophia, and she's looking at Mugato and trying to discern, looking at his face, what is with this child? And Bacchus, stammering, scared out of his gourd, is protecting Mugato. He will not let it slip that this is the child you're looking for. This is the exact child. Because of that very sobering realization, once Sophia has gone about her business, and the duck, up on the roof, eavesdropping on all of this, puts the question to Bacchus, what was that about? Why didn't you just give the kid over? Because Bacchus is really scared. The power this child commands, he knows. Even if he hasn't seen it personally. For the heavenly realm to so desperately want their hands back on this kid, they're up to something. They want the ultimate supremacy reigning over humanity all over again. They want to renew it. Bacchus knows that. Bacchus knows this spells disaster for not only humankind, but anyone caught in the crossfire. And so he's not having it. You see his drunken red nose go completely back to skin tone because it's a sobering understanding. They can't have this kid. They can't have what this kid is capable of, what the powers this kid wields, because it spells disaster. Meanwhile, amidst that realization, disaster is currently unfolding. Nina, Bacchus, Mugato, they are all caught in the crossfire themselves. And my heart skipped a beat when those explosions go off at the hands of the demons, cutting off all the escape routes for Charios and his people, with Kaiser running amok, trying to figure out where to be, where to react, how to get to Charios himself, to protect the king, presumably, or get in the way, in the middle of Charios and, Azazel when he comes calling. In the midst of all of this, Nina comes out of an alleyway and is like, what's going on? And she goes to call back to Mugato, who is now gone. You know that the next stage of this, when we open the next episode, is Mugato coming onto the scene and probably, in all likelihood, utilizing his power to save Azazel once again. Probably also garnering the attention of Safiel, and just the tide will turn one way or the other if he shows up on that battlefield. Unless maybe Nina, tracks him down and stops him from calling forth his power at the last second, intervenes somehow. This really, it's like the tide is going to turn. The supremacy and the call to that power is going to shift. And probably for the worse, if they see what he's capable of firsthand. And they put a face to that ability, that power. Now, what really strikes the fear into my mind along those lines is, you have Azazel impressing upon Nina he needs her. But then you have her being smitten with Charios. And Mugato's own loyalty seems to be to Azazel. So let's just say, for the sake of hypothetical argument, what if Nina finds her smittenness, her, romantic interest in Charios, if piecing together that he and this Chris guy she went on the date with previous episode are the same person, what if she feels sympathy toward him? And for all intents and purposes, Pseudo takes his side. Conceivably, this could pit Nina in her dragon form against Azazel, and more specifically Mugato's abilities of his own. It's a Shakespearean tragedy ready to explode all over this realm. Because you also have, as I say, the heavenly realm in there and such like that, and just characters you care about. Kaiser, Rita, reminiscing to herself about that lovelorn feeling of old, about, thinking and imagining this romantic, wonderful relationship she might have had, and all has been lost to her because she's, for all intents and purposes, the living dead. I felt for her in that moment. I felt so much. I've been feeling a lot more for Bacchus. He's not just the comic relief this time around. He is that, still very much. But there's much more depth and heart to his character. For him to be so sobered, so scared sober about the idea of the heavenly realm getting their hands on Mugato should tell you how dangerous that would be if it happens. And so, I'm assuming Mugato's going to try to intervene. Whether he is successful or not remains to be seen come next episode. Whether or not he is called off by the likes of Kaiser or more likely Nina, or if he's actually successful. I mean, Sophia will probably be there to witness it. Chetios will certainly see it, and what will happen? What will occur? Will Chetios have something up his sleeve, perhaps, to quell Mugato and hold to his power, enslave it? I don't know. It's anybody's guess, really. It makes it that much all the more exciting for it. I'd love to hear from you guys in the comments below. If you've seen this particular episode, episode 7 of Rage of Bahamut, Virgin Soul, if, you agree with me that Mugato is just right there caught in the middle, of these two warring factions, both seeking to use a penultimate power to unleash and claim for themselves an ultimate power. Similarly so with Nina and like all these characters, Bacchus, Rita, do you find them all sympathetic as I do? Or are you completely unmoved? Love it or hate it, anything goes in the comments below. Just love having that conversation. And I'd be intrigued to hear what your own speculations are for the next step of the aftermath of this just horrific battle that Azazel and his demons unfortunately lost. Fiercely so. And so, yeah. Otherwise, that'll be pretty much it for me on this. If this video finds you well, and I'll catch you all later. Peace.